You cracked an egg into a pan this morning and didn't think about it for 1 second. But here's the weird part. That thing in the shell, it's a single cell built to grow into an actual living bird. And somehow, out of every egg-laying creature on this planet, we picked one, just one. And we eat it by the trillion. Over 1 trillion chicken eggs a year. That's not a typo. That's more eggs than there are humans, times 100. Meanwhile, there are thousands of bird species out there. Reptiles lay eggs, fish lay eggs, bugs lay eggs, and almost none of them ever touch your plate. So why chicken? Why not literally anything else? Turns out it's not about taste. It never was. Let's start easy. Quail eggs. You've probably seen them. Tiny, speckled, sitting in a jar somewhere. They're basically baby chicken eggs in disguise. Same bird family, same setup, just shrunk down, so your brain doesn't flinch. Duck eggs. Same deal. Bigger yolk, richer taste, but close enough that nobody blinks. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. In parts of Southeast Asia, people eat something called balut, a duck egg that's been incubated for a few weeks before it's boiled, which means, yeah, there's basically a baby duck in there, beak and all. And millions of people eat it, like casually, street food casually. A researcher named Paul Rosen spent his whole career studying disgust, and his big finding? Disgust isn't instinct, it's learned. Balut isn't more dangerous than your breakfast egg, it's just later. Same egg, different timestamp. Okay, now let's break the pattern completely. Fish eggs. Caviar sells for thousands of dollars a pound. Salmon roe is on every sushi menu on Earth. Nobody's grossed out by that. Which kind of wrecks the whole "it's about how close the animal is to us" theory. Fish are about as far from us as it gets. Doesn't matter. We love their eggs. So, what about reptiles? Sea turtle eggs used to be a normal food. People grabbed them straight off the beach for generations. Then turtle populations crashed. Now it's illegal almost everywhere. Not because people got grossed out, because the animal almost disappeared. But crocodile eggs? In parts of Australia, they're still legally harvested under strict permits. People who've tried them say they taste like a rich duck egg. So the eggs were never the issue. Access was. Rules were. What about frogs? You'd think, sure, why not? But almost nobody eats frog eggs. Turns out there's an actual reason this time. Frog eggs are mostly jelly, barely any calories, and a lot of species coat them in mild toxins. Evolution basically built a "do not eat me" sign, and it worked. This might be the one animal that actually won. Insects, too. In central Mexico, ant eggs are harvested and sold as a delicacy called Escamoles. People have eaten it since before the Aztecs. Expensive, beloved locally, almost unheard of anywhere else. Not because it's unsafe, the tradition just never traveled. Now here's a heavier one. In the 1800s, passenger pigeons filled American skies by the billions. Their eggs got harvested by the wagon load and sold for pennies. Within a few decades, the entire species was gone. The last one, a bird named Martha, died alone in a zoo in 1914. That collapse is the reason the U.S. passed a law in 1918 making it illegal to touch the eggs of almost any wild bird without a federal permit. So an entire category of eggs isn't off the menu because it's gross. It's off the menu because we already learned this lesson the hard way once. Religion adds another layer too. Kosher law only allows eggs from birds considered kosher, and even then, if there's a blood spot in the yolk, the whole egg gets tossed. Islamic dietary law has similar restrictions. Rules written thousands of years before anyone understood embryology, and they're still shaping grocery shelves today. And then there's the simplest reason of all, what you grew up eating. Psychologists say the window for accepting a new food without disgust basically closes by age 3. A kid raised on Balut feels nothing eating it as an adult. A kid who's never seen an egg outside a carton recoils at the idea. Nobody's born disgusted. That reaction gets installed, and once it's in, it barely ever comes out. So here's the actual answer. It's not biology, it's math. A wild bird lays maybe 10, 15 eggs a year. A modern egg-laying hen lays around 300. 300! No other farmed bird even comes close. Ducks max out around half that. Quail get close, but the eggs are tiny. Once one bird could pump out that kind of volume, cheap and consistent, there was zero business reason to industrialize any other bird's eggs. The market didn't choose the best-tasting egg. It chose the most productive animal. Everything else just built itself around that choice. Add in a century of food safety regulation built specifically around chicken eggs, and wild or exotic eggs just never got that same infrastructure. So really, almost every egg on Earth is edible. Chicken eggs aren't safer, or tastier, or more nutritious than a duck egg or quail egg. What decided your breakfast wasn't science. It was one jungle fowl that got bred into a machine, plus whatever your family happened to serve you as a kid. The line between breakfast and disgusting was never drawn by biology. It was drawn by whatever your ancestors happened to farm first, and every generation since just inherited it without ever asking why.